Hi everyone, welcome back to For Real Though, a live LGBT news show every other Friday. Okay, so I can't lie to you guys. Unlike the other episodes, this episode is actually not going to be recorded live. I'm gonna be out of town, I have a family, it's a whole thing. But I promise to try and flub lines just as much as I do when it's live. Okay, so while many of us have been picking up the pieces of our lives after the season finale of Big Little Lies, there was some major shit that happened at Otter Bay Elementary. I mean, major shit that happened in America. Sorry, I'm still reeling from that finale. Okay, a Florida teen, Paula Goodgame, has been prohibited from bringing her girlfriend to prom. The school policy dictates that escorts of the same gender are not allowed. That's insane. You know what shouldn't have been allowed at my prom? Light blue eyeshadow. I was a victim. Or, allowing anyone without hand-eye coordination to do the cha-cha slide in a cramped gymnasium. Slide to the left with caution, people. I almost lost my pinky toe at my junior prom. But it gets worse. The school's guidance counselor then suggested that Goodgame find a male date for her girlfriend, which is horrifying for the two women. But also, yeah, because if we've learned anything from, I don't know, any movie about high school ever, it's that 17-year-old boys would love to go to prom with someone that they're definitely not gonna sleep with. Prom without getting laid sounds rad. Foolproof plan. God damn it. North Carolina Governor Roy Cooper signed an HB2 repeal bill. However, do not bust out the celebratory rosé just yet. The repeal allows provisions of HB2 to stay intact through 2020, which means cities are still prohibited from passing non-discrimination ordinances on private employment or public accommodations for at least another 3 years. LGBT groups are also arguing that the New Deal still does not ensure trans citizens access to public bathrooms that match their gender identity. So, despite the fact that Cooper was elected largely due to his stance on wanting to fully repeal HB2 and the fact that the deal was slammed by LGBT and civil rights groups, Cooper still okayed this clunker. He stated, "This is the best deal we could get." Sure, I mean, that's something that you say when you're a divorce lawyer who has to tell his client Russ that he's got to give up his houseboat to his ex-wife Deborah. You know what I mean? Sorry, man, it's the best deal we could get. I know you love that thing. But it doesn't work in this situation. So why did he sign it? He signed the bill quickly in order to beat the deadline from the NCAA, which threatened to pull all future events from North Carolina until 2022 unless HB2 was repealed, which leaves us with the burning question. Does Trump's America care more about sports than the rights of marginalized groups? Tough call. I mean, I for one would be baffled. Okay, so the next segment is Blessed. You may remember it from last time. Barry Manilow came out at age 73, to which your most annoying straight friend will say, "I totally knew it, he's so gay," with the complete lack of awareness that it's people like that friend that made a 73-year-old man wait this long to come out. I mean, had Manilow lived in a society more accepting of homosexuality, he wouldn't have had to croon to "Oh, Mandy." He could have sang from his heart. "Oh, Andy." Okay, so coming out isn't a spectacle for straight folk. It's not a way for you to brag about how you totally have gaydar or how you can make jokes about how you now can or can't like them because they came out as gay. Okay, I'll tell you what I told some of my male friends who didn't get the brilliance of Big Little Lies. Maybe it's not for you. German ministers have approved plans to fine social media firms if they fail to remove hate speech. The proposed law would give the companies 24 hours to block obviously criminal content after it's been reported and 7 days for other offensive material. Otherwise, they can be fined up to 50 million euros, which is approximately $53 million US dollars. This news has left Twitter eggs scrambling. Kimberly Hively, a part-time teacher in Indiana, filed a lawsuit against Ivy Tech Community College in South Bend, alleging that she didn't get hired full-time because she's a lesbian. And then last week, in a historic moment, a federal appeals court ruled for the first time that the 1964 Civil Rights Act also protects LGBT employees from workplace discrimination. So hopefully, the next stop is Supreme Court. And then hopefully the next stop after that is the desk of your straight coworker Travis, who still claims that, maybe you just haven't been with the right guy yet. Can we sue him? I'd like to know. Brian Fisher, a Christian radio host for the AFA and fully delusional man, remarked that the worst example of cultural appropriation ever is that the LGBT community stole the rainbow from God. I mean, technically God is a concept, so it's tough to argue over ownership, but Okay, I guess if we're nitpicking about, who appropriated what from religious figures, I guess we can admit that queer women have been known to borrow Jesus' fashion sense. Sure, I mean, like lesbians with Birkenstocks and open-toed sandals, and I mean, I for sure know some bi and trans women that can pull off a center part actually better than Jesus, but stealing the rainbow from God? Sorry, dude, the rainbow chose us. In a new study from GLAAD, 20% of Americans aged 18 to 34 identify as LGBTQ. Yeah, that's right, that's 1/5 of millennials that now identify as LGBTQ. And in a related study, 0/5 of millennials enjoy being identified as a millennial. So, because we're recording this 3 days early, it's possible I could miss a few really major news stories. On my way over here, I read about how there's an anti-LGBT bill in North Carolina to try and rule same-sex marriage is not valid anymore. And there are stories still developing about Chechnya reportedly sending gay men to concentration camps. Like, honestly, there's so much garbage out there that it's hard to keep up. But here I am. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Real, though. I'm Brittany Ashley, and I'm recording this from the past, which means I'm a historical relic. See you in 2 Fridays.